evil that is responsible for all the destruction in our world. I will show you. This is LaPalma, one of the Canary Islands, a paradise for sun-loving tourists. For us, the island holds quite another fascination, the Cumbre Vieja volcano. The brittle western slope of the volcano is covered in clefts and fissures where water has collected. And now for the interesting part. By placing several bombs in carefully calculated spots, we can use thermonuclear explosions to heat that water so that it will evaporate instantaneously. If you had paid attention in your physics classes, you would know that such a sudden evaporation of water would create sufficient pressure to shatter the volcano's brittle slope and send it crashing into the sea. Can you guess what comes next? That's right, a tsunami. Waves 200 meters high will charge across the Atlantic with the speed of an airplane. The tsunami will sweep across the east coast of the United States. New York will disappear in an apocalyptic flood, taking with it the self-proclaimed rulers of the world who are currently squabbling in blind incompetence at the UN headquarters. The resulting vacuum of power will be filled by our followers, some of whom have been biding their time in key positions for decades. They will take control and lead humankind to a new golden age.
Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Eric from the Ancient of Days YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, please do. And if we scroll right down to the bottom of my channel, here is the Ancient of Days 2, my backup channel. Because I do get suspended from time to time. I actually just came off a suspension about a week or two ago. I also have a BitChute account. If you click on About on either one of the channels, you can see right here, you could click on the BitChute account. Now there's a couple what I'm doing here now is I'm putting up short videos, a couple of remix video clips, because this is so you guys can get educated on this technology. Specifically, I'm talking about the AI behavior modification technology, as well as content that is too much for the YouTube guidelines. So if you'd like to subscribe to BitChute, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, what I will be doing is leaving a little teaser clip on either this channel or the Ancient of Days 2. Okay guys, so we're going to jump right into it today. What you saw in the beginning there, of course, was from iPad Go 2 from Heliofont. We're going to touch on that again. There's a few things that were unveiled that we're going to get into. And right here, this is the predictive programming video game that you saw in the very beginning, going all the way back to 2012. And then we're going to get in also to a man's breakdown. It's only about 3 minutes long or so, but it's very, very interesting here. I know that this is just that demonic cartoon from Heliofont that has revealed so much, but one thing that typically how it works is I don't know of anybody that has revealed things before they have actually happened. Okay, so right here, this would be LaPalma, the Palm. Okay, and this guy's going to do a great breakdown on that. And then also we're going to look at this part here, as well as this here. What does the tiger mean on the back of this little Asian girl's jacket here as the tanks start rolling up? We're going to get also into a rocket that actually hit the top of the dome. Okay, we're also going to be looking at sprites coming off the firmament. Beautiful. Actually, you know what? They say it's the firmament. I feel it is, but of course, we'll let you guys also use your discernment on that as well. Okay, also some stars that are up there, because clearly it looks to be in fluid. And then here, this guy here, I was looking for this guy's video clip for over an hour, and unfortunately he never gave the link for it. I watched this a little ways back. A guy he captured this from a high altitude balloon that was trying to discover the flat earth. And then what happened was, once it burst, the camera was falling from the sky, and as it was falling, he captured the dome. This guy here is narrating on the guy's clip, but what the gentleman who actually did the original clip, he did filters and brought out the actual structure of the construct of the dome. This man here is only speaking about the angelic looking being that is peeping right through. And then of course, here we're going to look at the LaPalma volcano and the predictive programming. Guys, I'm a watchman. I'm not here promoting fear. I'm letting you guys be aware, okay, of what is taking place. Now, everybody knows about the Canary Islands and the LaPalma volcano taking place, but they want to blast the crap out of it, just like that cartoon shows. Okay, I mean, so let's just go ahead and jump right into it, guys, because that's where it all starts, and then we'll go from there. In 2012, just when Heliophant's IPEC Goat 2 came out, also this predictive programming cartoon came out. Now this comes from Freed from Evil blog page. Thank you very much, Casey. Okay, predictive program video for LaPalma volcano. Many of us have been following the news of the LaPalma erupting volcano over the past month. We know that this volcano has been having an unusual amount of earthquakes. What we have just learned recently that Hal Turner is that we're growing suspicious of the earthquakes that may be man-made due to how they are showing on an aerial graph in perfect symmetrical proportions. Okay, so we're going to get into that about scalar wave technology, but before we do that, I want to quickly cover this just real brief clip here from this cartoon. I know many people have seen it, but for those that haven't, let's check it out, and if you're not interested, just skip ahead about 35-40 seconds. That's what's great about videos. So let's get started with the LaPalma Canary Island predictive programming video game that came out in 2012. Let's listen real briefly. I'm not going to play the whole thing, just a brief clip.
That's right, a tsunami. Waves 200 meters high will charge across the Atlantic with the speed of an airplane. The tsunami will sweep across the east coast of the United States. New York will disappear in an apocalyptic flood, taking with it the self-proclaimed rulers of the world who are currently squabbling in blind incompetence at the UN headquarters. The resulting vacuum of power will be filled by our followers, some of whom have been biding their time in key positions for decades. They will take control and lead humankind to a new golden age!
Except for the people on the East Coast. I guess you won't be leading them anywhere.
Okay, so yeah, I guess you won't be leading them anywhere. This is a video game. I don't know what it's called. Casey found it on YouTube there. So predictive programming going all the way back to 2012, same as Heliofont. Now, LaPalma predictive programming and IPEC Goat. We're going to look at this guy's breakdown of this. I found this to be very, very interesting because I myself personally enjoy IPEC Goat a lot because it has revealed so much. And the thing is with that cartoon, that demonic cartoon that they put out, is typically these things weren't revealed until after it happened. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb today, and I want to see if you guys see right here. Okay, this is the tiger on IPEC Go from Heliofont at 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Okay, we see this little girl here, Asian looking little girl. We could back it up a few seconds and take a look without any sound as the tanks are rolling in. Notice clearly it's winter time. She's waving a white flag. Now the tanks come up. She's got a clear tiger on the back, and then as she spins around, you could tell she's Asian. So it looks like they're surrendering. Now what does the tiger represent? Okay, because I found that interesting. Well, the tiger on the back of her shirt would represent Taiwan. Okay, here we go. The tiger leading the dragon. How Taiwan propelled China's economic rise. Well, what does a tiger even mean? Okay, because 4 Asian tigers, when we look at Wikipedia, here it says the 4 Asian tigers, also known as the 4 Asian dragons or 4 little dragons in Chinese and Korean, are the economies of South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, and Hong Kong. Okay? Again, South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, and Hong Kong. Well, first off, we have been made very aware as to what China's ambitions are to take Taiwan. Now, if we look here, the Formosan tiger, Taiwan's big cat folklore and history. Well, what does even Formosan mean? Definition: Formosan, of or relating to the island of Formosa. It's in Taiwan. Okay, so we see the connections with the tiger here on IPEC Goat 2, as we see this little girl with the white flag as the tanks come rolling in. There you go. It's clearly winter time. She's got the tiger on her back. She turns and she looks Asian. It also looks to be around New Year. Now that would likely be the Chinese New Year, correct? Alright, well, let's go ahead and also take a look here in IPEC Go at the 3-minute and 32-second mark. This guy here is sinking in this slime. We see that he has a hammer and a sickle. Now this is just before the little Asian girl there with the tiger on her back is waving surrender to the incoming tanks. Well, where is the hammer and sickle seen so frequently? Well, right here. The coronavirus pandemic. The hammer and sickle in China is making its way back. China's new revolution, the reign of Xi Jinping. And they show here, okay, you got the hammer and the sickle. Again, we got this poor fella here in the cartoon sinking away in this slime. You know I'm colorblind. I clearly see the letter F there. If I did a little more looking into this, I'm sure I'd find out more. Okay, as we look now at 3:32, you can see clearly the sickle and the hammer. And then we go ahead and back out of this. And there you go. Okay, the coronavirus pandemic. The South China Morning Post with the hammer and sickle. That is a representation of the communist China, China's new revolution. The conclusion is the hammer and sickle, the dragon of China, is going to go ahead and make their communist march directly into Taiwan, the economic tiger of Asia. The little dragons, the 4 Asian tigers, right here on Wikipedia, are the economies of South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, and Hong Kong. IPEC Go to the economic tiger from the hammer and sickle of the dragon of China. Okay, let's move on from that and get down to this guy's breakdown. It's only a couple minutes long here. This is Freed from Evil blog page. Links will be in the box as always. So let's get a look and a listen here. This I found to be extremely interesting, and I think you guys will too as well. This actually takes us to right here, okay? From IPEC Go to Helio font at the 3-minute and 15-second mark. We see here LaPalma, the palm. Now we're gonna let this guy here go ahead and do the breakdown for us. Let's get a look and a listen. This is not to get you guys frightened or put fear into you. Keep the faith, stay grounded on the rock in Christ Yeshua the Messiah, because once you're grounded and rooted in faith on the rock, then this storm, or whether it is a tsunami or not, or whatever happens and comes upon you, a spiritual storm, let's say, you will still be there and standing when everything else falls around you. Okay, through faith alone. Alright, glory to God. Let's watch this.
This is True Seeker back for another quick video, and I want to discuss the current happenings with this LaPalma volcano situation and how it is linked with iPet Goat. We see here where the land and iPet Goat looks eerily similar to that of LaPalma. And obviously we know, Osama is dead, supposedly. But you see right here with the red, weird-looking crescent moon, almost like the volcano went off. And we see right here in the top left corner, a body of water, you know, surrounding the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, right there is where I mentioned even the Statue of Liberty is shown in IPEC GOAT to have to be covered in water. Okay, and everything clearly again looks to be in the winter time. I went through this last winter as well. Nothing is definitive. Okay, I do feel that we have some time to go before, of course, you know, China and Taiwan is a separate story, but we have a little ways to go here in the States because they're just sucking us dry as far as finances. They're going to squeeze every bit they can out of us, not only in Lush energy feeding for the fallen angel Elohim Lush feeding system, astral AI matrix, but also bleed us dry for every penny, financially speaking, as the elite get richer and the poor get poorer.
And we see down here on the bottom right the fire. And LaPalma eruption equals 174. And the number of the beast equals 174. We know that they do these things by the numbers. And also, who just won the Super Bowl recently? The GOAT, as he's referred to, Tom Brady. And
okay, before we let him carry on, I just want to mention also, not only was this when it showed the spire falling from the Notre Dame fire, this also is a birthing canal. Okay, this would be a vaginal canal and a birthing canal. It represents both birthing a new race within the race of humanity through the AI jab, but it also represents them ushering in their false Moshiach. Let's continue to listen.
And this is all being depicted from IPEC GOAT, which is going on today. And we all know that GOAT represents Baphomet and all the agendas they've been pushing with the Baphomet agenda. So it's more predictive programming that they planned you for, as you even seen in the clip at the beginning. We see here where she's even holding out her palm, LaPalma, looking like the volcano in the background going off.
Absolutely. That looks like a volcano going off. LaPalma, volcano going off. Beautiful. I mean, that was a nice capture he did. Really good job.
So it makes you wonder if the next 911 is coming with this event.
Okay, now it does. Nobody's saying this is all for certain or anything like that. These are what people are feeling and what is being revealed to them through the Spirit of Truth, because this was revealed to me through the Spirit of Truth. I don't just sit around like looking at the IPEC GOAT and trying to discern it. No, I think I've only watched the entire cartoon, you know, a handful of times, and then I just look at certain clips. All right, and then one thing that people certainly need to be careful of, all right, and I am very careful myself. Any vision or dream that I have, I am very, very careful about. I make sure I get that I get confirmations that are so solid. Okay, so they have been predictive programming this for some time, and also what they have certainly done is we know that it's printed on the money. Now, the only way that I see something to this effect happening in Manhattan would have to be a detonation of an underground nuke, just based on the geography of the Long Island Sound. But, you know, these are things that we have to discern and pray on. And like I said, guys, this isn't to put fear into you. I'm a watchman, and I'm doing as I'm instructed, and I see how the Spirit is leading me to, as I continue on here, as I'm not jumping right into the astral plane as I wanted to jump in right into that and then talk about the lower heavens and all that. Now I see how Father is doing this. He is bringing this up so that people will start to understand what I'm talking about, and then we'll get into the higher dimensional topics and end off finally on the Blue Beam Project, because on my last video I don't feel too many people actually watched it. That is some very incredible and impressive artificial intelligence. That is now that I have done field work. I now have found that it is not just my house. Let's read on here. Okay, satellite captures LaPalma volcano creating strange cloud ripple. Now this here, okay, they were calling these like gravitational lines or whatever. Alright, well first off, I don't even believe in gravity. But anyhow, this here, these are what's called scalar waves. I did a video on BitChute. Okay, here it is on BitChute. It's called Hive Mind, Scalar Wave Quantum Entanglement, Brain to AI Interface, DNA Resonance Transcendence. Okay, that is a good video to watch. So we take a look at the scalar waves here. Now what the scalar waves do is they go ahead and they loosen up the areas such as the small fault lines. They start to break them apart and then create more and stronger earthquakes, even deeper or shallow, depending on the scalar wave technology that they are using. They create these clouds. Let's look at this right here. This is from a YouTube channel, Dave Brooks. Okay, looks like he's captured on time lapse the scalar waves. They're used also for weather modification to steer these storms. Okay, what they do is they push these storms with these scalar waves so that they get caught up in the jet stream, and they can either push them over a certain area so that a hurricane will come back around and circle 3 times over the same area, dropping 3 feet of rain. That's how the new normal is, because they now control the weather, and they have for some time. Let's take a look at this time-lapse footage. That's really cool. That's some cool stuff. Look at that. See that? That's scalar wave HARP technology and time-lapse footage. They're likely preparing for a storm, because this is used for weather modification. Here's our climate change, guys. This is our climate change. Scalar wave HARP technology through time-lapse footage. And very interestingly enough, just the other day, I captured them using them up here. And of course, up here, we have 2 military bases nearby, and they have all these antenna structures being built throughout the area up here in northern Connecticut. So yeah, from the Washington Post here, they show what they called gravitational lines, but I'm going to tell you guys, and you should be well aware to the fact that they are clearly using scalar technology that is to go ahead and increase the earthquakes, and that I have no doubt about. Now we're moving on to Operation High Jump. Okay, Operation High Jump, the name in itself is actually laughable, because it even talks about what would that remind you of. It would remind you of having to jump over something. Let's read here from Wikipedia. Operation High Jump, officially titled the U.S. Navy Antarctic Development Program. It was from 46 to 1947. Was a United States Navy operation to establish the Antarctic Research Base, Little America, or so they say. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you with that there, but let's look here. Admiral Byrd, as a senior officer in the United States Navy, Byrd served on active duty during World War II. He was recalled on active duty on March 26th of 1942. He joined the South Pacific Island Base Inspection Board, which had important missions to the Pacific, including surveys of remote islands for airfields. Now right here is a little information on Operation High Jump here. Let's take a look at this video clip, and we're going to get into some real cool stuff here regarding the dome. This is real footage from Operation High Jump back in 1946.
seaplane tenders, rolling decks imperil the big seaplanes. She rolls deeper. A sudden lurch. The Navy cameraman taking these pictures is thrown, his leg broken. He swings his camera, catches the nose of one plane smashed in. Swings aft, spots another plane overboard, sinking in the wake. Lost.
Wow, amazing. Okay, so that's when men were men, and yeah, that's when there was a lot of damage to the ships, and the conspiracy theory is that they were attacked by a Vermana when they were looking for the secret Nazi base in New Swabia. Alright, so now when we look at the ice wall here on the UN map, okay, and this map is actually the flat earth map, which is also used, this crater here is also used to show on many other flags that it just tells us here in plain sight that we live within an enclosed system. Let's get looking here. Maybe this one here. I like this one a little bit better. Okay, that's why we call it a crater, because you got the ice wall and then we got the dome. Now following the Operation High Jump, which sounds to me like they were looking to try to high jump out of here, okay, so they could high jump and see what was beyond the ice wall. So here in Operation Fishbowl, that makes you think of the Truman Show. That's when they're exploding high yield hydrogen bombs up into the upper atmosphere, or so they said, but it clearly looked to be hitting a dome is what it looked to be doing. Let's get a read here from Wikipedia. Operation Fishbowl was a series of high-altitude tests in 1962 that were carried out by the United States as part of the larger Operation Dominic. Well, what's Operation Dominic? Operation Dominic was a series of 31 nuclear test explosions with a 38.1 megaton yield. 38.1 megaton yield is massive. Okay, the largest yield ever exploded here on the earth, okay, was in Russia. It was a 50 megaton. So yes, that is a tremendous yield, 38.1 megatons. So they were looking to do something with Operation Fishbowl, okay? So they were saying that they were testing high altitude nuclear weapons. But let's get a look here at some footage of these high altitude explosions. This is from Operation Fishbowl. Now just notice this, that first of all, this is just amazing looking, but they don't need nukes, okay? They don't need nukes. I feel they really used them to try to blast through the firmament, but look at how amazing this looks. And to me, every time these things blast off, they don't just appear to be blowing up like a ball would be in space, like they proclaim. It looks to be hitting a dome, and then the blast then spreads out. If you watch and pay attention, I do feel that you guys will see the same thing I do. Let's take a watch together. Just look at that. Okay, so again, when I see that, to me it doesn't look like an explosion in space. To me what it looks like is actually an explosion that hit a dome, a top. Okay, let's move forward here. The firmament, rocket hits the dome. Now this here is one of the things that just can't be denied. I love this video here. Let's listen. I'm sure many of you have seen it, but this is just further proof in case you have forgotten.
3, 2, 1.
There you go. I mean, let's watch it again from 2 cameras now. This is amazing. That clearly hit the top of something. Let's listen one more time. You ready? And then it just stops. It just stops right there. Let's watch it one more time. Boom. I mean, can't prove it to me anymore. And I think a lot of people should see that. Now we're going to get into sprites. Lightning, sprite lightning. Sprites or red sprites are large-scale electric discharges that occur high above thunderstorm clouds or cumulonimbus, giving rise to quite variety of visual shapes flickering in the night sky. They are usually triggered by the discharge of positive lightning between an underlying thundercloud and the ground. Okay, so sprites appear to be luminous red, orange flashes. They often occur in clusters. Well, let's get a look. This here is a video, and it says here only has 28 views. Give them a thumbs up here. But the thing is also, the problem is a low quality. But let's take a look at this. You guys can use your discernment for yourself. I find this to be quite beautiful. I have seen in very high resolution. Years ago, I looked and looked and looked and could not find the clip of people who were capturing sprites that clearly seemed to be falling from the dome itself. Okay, let's have a look at what this reveals. I think that's beautiful, and I have seen it in high definition. I wish I was able to share that with you, but everything I have shown you now, including this, to me, clearly look to be coming and making contact with a dome. Okay, now let's get a look at the stars that appear to be in liquid. Many of us know this. How many times have you looked through the telescope? Just with my P900, when I look at the moon, I mean, I haven't captured the lunar wave per se, but you could tell that it is not just atmospheric lensing. This here, okay, this is what a star looks like in a telescope. It to me, if it looks like just like you would go ahead and if you put a light in water and then you saw the water rippling across it. Okay, that's the exact same effect that you have. And that is not atmospheric lensing. Here we go. So this here reveals these things are actually intelligent entities. For those of you that are into the book of Enoch, and of course the Lost Books, speaks of these celestial bodies called the luminaries. Beautiful to look at, but certainly not what we were made to believe, which further proves the existence of the Almighty Creator. Now, lastly, the last thing we're going to get into now, guys, nature of world news. They're talking about Canary Islands that we have been discussing through iPad Go 2, as well as earlier on you saw in the very beginning of the clip. That's where we're going to end off on. Blast the crap out of it, okay? Well, I'm not saying it's something that's definitely going to happen, but I am saying that they have been talking about it. As we see right here, local politician suggests bombing LaPalma volcano 4 days ago. LaPalma volcano should be bombed to divert lava flow. Sounds like a wonderful idea if you ask me. I mean, it was predictive programmed right here in this.
Sufficient pressure to shatter the volcano's brittle slope and send it crashing into the sea. Can you guess what comes next? That's right, a tsunami. Waves 200 meters high will charge across the Atlantic with the speed of an airplane. The tsunami will sweep across the east coast of the United States. New York will disappear in an apocalyptic flood.
Okay, so that's from 2012. That's why we're ending off here, is bomb the crap out of it. I don't think that's the best idea. And then, of course, we're going to go ahead and end off, I feel, in when we saw in iPad Go 2, this poor fella who's sinking in this goo. He's got the hammer and the sickle at the 3-minute and 31-second mark. And I also feel here that the little girl here who's waving down a white flag to the tanks that are rolling in, let's recognize clearly it is winter time. She's wearing the tiger. That represents Taiwan as the economic tiger as they go ahead and get prepared here to face their nemesis China from the mainland, who is going to be looking to take back Taiwan, who is one of the 4 economic tigers as we see on the back of her shirt. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today, guys. I look forward to seeing you real soon. I just needed a break from all that technology, and I still had some technical issues, but nowhere near to the effect that I do when I have to work as far as my software getting shut down trying to share footage. So I would urge you guys to please look at some of the past videos regarding the technology. Also, if you would like, you could please sub up to, it would be helpful if you subbed up to the Ancient of Days on BitChute. All these links are in the box, including my backup channel and of course my main channel. You just scroll down to the bottom and then you can go ahead and subscribe to my backup channel. Please hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll be alerted to when my next videos come out, because we're going to be getting into live streams. Right now currently I have things lined up here as far as work around the house due to the fall cleanup, but after that, guys, once winter comes, I have a lot of time on my hands and we're going to be putting out some content along with some guests that we will have on. At least one guest I have coming on that we're going to have a good time getting into real soon. So much love from my family to yours. You have a blessed and great weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Peace and grace.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day.